history has been marked by ship disasters and accidents. Each ship, each vessel that once navigated our planet's waters collected memories of conflict, survival, and development. We all know the famous ones, but there are so many other shipwrecks that were completely abandoned and forgotten by humankind. I will now show you 9 shipwrecks that were left behind and that can be seen from space. And more, stay until the end to check a totally mysterious unknown shipwreck. Our first shipwreck is in Greece. Dimitrios Shipwreck is located at a sandy beach near Ayrfield since the 23rd of December of 1981. It was built in Denmark in the 1950s and worked as a cargo ship. The ship made an emergency docking at Ayrfield on December 4th, 1980. 1 year later, it was swept miles away due to severe weather conditions, and finally it was stranded at its current location. We are now going to travel to Australia to check the Tangalooma Wrecks. Located on the eastern side of Moreton Bay, the Tangalooma Wrecks is a cluster of ships scuttled by the Queensland government between 1963 and 1984. Its purpose was to provide safe anchorage spot for recreational boat owners. It is one of the best snorkeling sites in the world. Coral is now forming in and around the wrecks, providing a haven for over 100 species. Not very far from Tangalooma Wrecks, we can find our next shipwreck, the USS Ayrfield. Built in 1911 in Scotland, SS Ayrfield sailed to Australia, where it was used as a transport supply boat to the US troops in the Pacific in World War II. And then it was retired to run coal from Newcastle to Sydney for the rest of its working life. In 1972, the SS Ayrfield was finally decommissioned and sent into Homebush Bay, where it remains until today. It has miraculously sprouted a lush forest of mangrove trees. The wreck is also spectacular at sunset, when the colors of the sky are set off against the red of the hull and the green of the mangroves. Now, moving to the United States, let's check the 4th shipwreck, the USS Sachem. Launched in 1902, the ship was originally intended as a luxury yacht. However, it was acquired by the Navy and fought the 2 world wars. After surviving the wars, it was then returned and never used in battle again. In the late 40s, she was purchased by a quickly growing cruise line in New York City and became a recreational vessel once again. Her last and current owner is Robert Miller, who bought the ship in 1986. After a few years, she was anchored on a small tributary of the Ohio River on Miller's property, never to sail again. Number 5 in our list is one of the most incredible, in my opinion, the amaze World Discoverer. It was a cruise ship built in Germany in 1974. The World Discoverer had a 13-kilometer cruising range, allowing the ship to travel the Northwest Passage. However, on April 30th, 2000, the ship struck a large uncharted rock or reef near Solomon Islands. The captain then grounded the ship to avoid sinking. But after underwater checking, the ship was declared a constructive loss. We are now going to travel back to Greece to check the amaze Mediterranean sky. The first named amaze City of York was built in 1953 in the United Kingdom. In 1971, she was sold, converted into a ferry, and renamed Mediterranean Sky. The Mediterranean Sky sailed for the last time in 1996. She started listing after being laid up in Eleusis Bay, Greece. She was then abandoned and finally sank by January 2003. In 2017, graffiti crew One Up painted on the exposed side of the ship. Our next stop is in Scotland with the MV Captayannis. On the evening of the 27th of January 1974, a severe storm caused Captayannis to drag her anchor while she was waiting to deliver sugar in Greenock, Scotland. During the storm, her anchor chains hold the sugar boat below the waterline, allowing water to pour in. Her captain decided to beach her to avoid sinking. The ship finally succumbed the next morning, rolling onto her side. It is hard to talk about abandoned places without mentioning our next stop, Chernobyl Shipwrecks. Decades before the catastrophic nuclear incident, Chernobyl port was used as a transport and fishing hub for locals. The port was later used to support the nuclear plant. On April 26, 1986, Chernobyl nuclear plant went into meltdown, and the town of Chernobyl was completely abandoned, including the port and its boats. We are now moving to the coast of Ireland to see MV Plassey. This ship was built at Beverley, Yorkshire, at the start of the Second World War, and after the end of the conflict in 1947, it was converted into a cargo vessel and sold into the British Merchant Service. On March 8, 1960, while sailing through Galway Bay, it was caught in a severe storm and ran onto the rocks off the shore of Aran Islands. A group of local islanders rescued the entire crew. Several weeks later, a second storm washed the ship off the rock and drove it ashore on the island. The last shipwreck of our list is a completely mysterious and unknown ship. In 2017, an UFO hunter looking for signs of alien activity on Google Earth found just off the coast of Costa Verde, Mexico, what seems to be a very big shipwreck. Scott Waring claims it's more probably an old battleship because of its shape. However, there are no records of any sunken ships in the area. Even though it could just be the result of a mind trick, the shape of this mysterious object does resemble that of a ship. What do you think about it? Leave in the comments which one was your favorite shipwreck. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you for watching.